Okay, thank you everyone for joining us for the October 11th YLF Governance Committee meeting. I'm going to go ahead and go through just a couple of Zoom logistics things, and then we'll move forward with introductions. So if you're using the video conferencing, you can use the raise hands icon on Zoom, or put a note in the chat, and either myself or a member of staff will make sure that you are acknowledged. And make sure you say your name each time before you're speaking. That way the Zoom live captioning can help capture that, and for the minutes afterwards, it's pretty helpful too. So I'll start with my introduction. My name is Danielle Hess. I am the chair of the YLF Governance Committee. I'm also working on YLF program this year. And day job is I work at the State Independent Living Council as the office manager, and my pronouns are she and her. And I think I'll just kind of go through everyone else. Danny?
Hi everybody, Danny Anderson. I work for the County of Ventura, YLF alum. And that's good, right? Okay. Cool. Danielle's intro, yours was so like intricate. I just want to make sure I was feeling inferior.
You're good. Benita.
Good afternoon, everyone. Benita Baines. I am with EDD in the Workforce Services Branch, Special Assistant to the Deputy Director, Javier Romero. Good afternoon, everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ashley?
Hello, everyone. Ashley Burrell. I am a Staff Services Manager representing the Department of Rehabilitation.
Thank you. And Charlie?
Yeah, hi, Charlie Kaplan, retired from EDD and worked a little bit with the OR with YLF, and I'm representing Friends of Californians with Disabilities, Inc.
Great.
And also on the fundraising or fund development work group.
Great, thank you. And then we'll go to our members of the public. Brandon?
Yeah, thank you. Brandon Raveling, EDD Workforce Services Board. Thank you very much.
Great. And Johnny?
Hi, Johnny Wayne, YLF alumni and the chair of the post-YLF work group.
Great, thank you. And then our staff, Maria?
Hi, I'm Mariella Ferris-Drudy, the Executive Officer for the California Committee.
Great, and Matt?
Matt Baker, YLF Project Manager.
And Zach?
Zach Ford, CCEPD Staff Analyst.
Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. And with item 1 done, we can go ahead and run through our minutes to approve them. So we're going to start with April 2023. Can I get a motion and a second to approve those minutes?
This is Charlie. I'll move to approve.
Thank you.
I'll second. This is Ashley.
Thank you, Ashley. I have a motion and a second. Does anyone have any comments or anything for that set of minutes? Okay, roll call.
I can do it. Anderson?
I need to abstain. Okay, I'm gonna abstain.
Baines?
Present.
Burrell?
Approve.
Kaplan?
Approve.
I think that motion passes, right?
And me.
Oh, Hess, sorry.
Approve.
There, motion passes.
Great, thank you. Then we can move on to May 2023. Can I have a motion?
I'll motion. This is Ashley.
Thank you. And this is Danielle. I'll second. Does anyone have any questions, comments on that? Okay, we can roll call.
Anderson,
Abstain.
Baines,
I'm going to approve.
Burrell,
Approve.
Hess,
Approve.
Kaplan.
Abstain. I missed it.
That passes 3-0.
Cool. Okay, cool. Moving forward, June 2023 meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve. This is Charlie Kaplan.
Thank you, Charlie.
I'll second. This is Ashley.
It's only a few of us.
Thank you, Ashley. So I have a motion by Charlie, second by Ashley. Any discussion? Okay, we'll roll call it again.
Anderson,
Abstain.
Baines,
I will approve. Approve.
Burrell,
Approve.
Hess,
Approve.
Kaplan.
Approve.
Motion passes 4-0-1.
Okay, cool. And then last set of minutes, September 2023. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Hey, thanks, Danny.
And this is Charlie Kaplan. I'll second.
And Charlie seconds. Thank you. Any comments, corrections?
I had one just reviewing it. When we were talking about electing a new chair, it said that we didn't have a quorum, but we did it by consensus. And then they had some names there, and they had Michael Clay's name there, but they didn't have mine. And he wasn't a member. He was public last time, and I was there. So I just want to have that corrected. I mean, I don't think we're going to vote now anyway, but just to clarify those minutes, I think Clay should have been Kaplan on number 9 on the agenda last time.
We'll make that note.
Okay.
Okay, great. So we can go ahead and do a roll call vote on approval with that correction.
Anderson,
Approve with that correction.
Baines, Baines, Benita,
Approve.
thanks, Burrell,
Approve.
Hess,
Approve.
Kaplan.
Approve.
Awesome.
Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. It's good. We can knock those 4 items off our agenda in the future, which is always nice. So that brings us to our confirmation of YLF 2024 governance chair and members. So this will be a vote. And Matt, is there anything you would like to bring up before we vote for Danny as our new governance chair? Okay,
No.
cool. Then I'm going to motion for Danny to be our new governance chair.
And this is Charlie. I'll second that motion.
Okay, great. Does anyone have any comments? Anyone have anything they'd like to say? I know we talked about it last time, but okay, cool.
Danielle, I've had a change of heart.
Not allowed. Not allowed. No, we're stoked to have you. So I will pass it back to Matt for the roll call vote.
Anderson,
Yes.
Baines,
Now I'm present. Sorry about that earlier.
Burrell,
Yes.
Hess,
Yes.
Kaplan.
Certainly, yes.
Approved.
Okay, cool. It's all on you, Danny.
All right. I'll go ahead and pick up with the next thing on the agenda. Thank you, Danielle, for leading the group for years. Happy to step in and give you a welcome little break, but glad you're still going to be around. Okay. Budget updates. Matt, would you like to take this one?
Yes. Danielle, can you still share screen for us? Oh, my little laptop, it's so hard to see everything. Oh, that's 2024.
So looking at the email, I'm not seeing a 2023 budget.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
it's
bad.
in-
Nope, there it is.
Oh,
Ah,
okay.
It just didn't copy over into my folder for whatever reason. Let me fix that. There we go.
Okay, so this is our budget for YLF 2023. We had an estimated cost, or our actual expenses to date were $147,398.54. We currently have received $200,996 in funding, with a projection of $245,994 in projected funding. So that will give us a remaining carryover balance of $53,597.46 or $59,243, depending on if we get all of the committed funders to given their commitments. So so that'll be a nice carryover for the YLF 2024 budget. There are no current outstanding expenses for the 2023 budget. We're just waiting on those final checks to be received by state agencies. Like discussed last month, all expenses are paid first by state dollars before we use private funding, just because there are limitations around carrying money from our state partners over into another year. So we try to use those dollars as quick as possible, whereas the private donors, we have a little bit more flexibility. So any questions on our 2023 budget?
Yeah, Matt, this is Charlie.
Yeah.
Last time, we said that we should have about 98,000 carryover with the money, but you're saying that because of this, looks like 40,000 that we haven't gotten from state, we can't use that. Is that what you're saying? Like a 20 from CDE and DDS and DSS.
No, so there was some adjustments since the last budget. We added some items. I think the final bill came back from our networking luncheon, which went up and ate into some of our costs. And then I believe we added an additional, there's an alumni governance stipend that is new to this budget, which we're just going to add to the 2023 budget, which will allow for us to provide a stipend for an alumni or multiple alumni to partake in governance and then also work on items related to YLF. So there's been a lot of momentum to have more active alumni participation in planning YLF. And so we're using this as kind of a template for a potential work experience through DOR that it'll eventually be carried over into a DOR type budget and not necessarily through YLF. But to get it started and to do the pilot, we want to use YLF funding from our state partners to do that. So that's why the budget is adjusted now for that expense item 7. I think initially it was like only 11,000 and now it's 15,000.
Okay, thanks. I understand that. I'm just looking at that. It says that we've received 200,996, correct? In the
correct.
Yeah, in the table 2, and so there's still another 40,000 pending or so from the state partners.
Correct.
So that would bring the total to almost the 245. And if we had the actual expenses were 147, how much more expenses do we have?
Other than the alumni expenses, which we're not sure what those will look like yet, they're in that line item, expense item 7.
Right.
If it depends on how much interest we have from alumni, and then what that work looks like.
Yeah, it just seems like we have, that's what I don't understand, because we have, if we get all the funding that from the other state partners, we'll have the 245,000. and we only
Correct.
expended 147. So that's
Right,
why.
so it will go up. It will go up,
So
Charlie. Yeah,
it will, the carryover will be the, closer to the 98 than the 50.
correct. It
Okay,
should be, yeah.
I just want to make sure, because that's our starting point with fund development. I just want to
Right,
know what we're
exactly.
starting with. Yeah,
Sorry if I'm a little.
okay.
Any other questions or comments on our budget? No? Okay.
All right, so our next item is to discuss YLF 2024 format and next steps. Ooh, and we get to act and discuss on this one. Very exciting. Okay, so would you like to start with the 2024 proposed budget, Matt?
Correct. Danielle, could you share screen again? So right now, our proposed budget for 2024, oh, Danielle, can you, actually, I'm gonna share screen because I made updates to this one, sorry. I just noticed that one as well. Give me 1 second. Oh no, did I just close it? I did. Bear with me. Okay. I'm gonna share screen. Can everyone see the screen okay? Yeah, okay. So this is our estimated budget for YLF 2024 with 50 delegates. That previous budget only had for 40, but we've given space and the funding commitments that we've had for 2023, if they're consistent for 2024 with our carryover, we should be able to well afford a program to support 50 delegates. So our budgeted operation costs would be $210,700. So that's for a 6-day program with 1 day for staff day, so 7 total. And then I just left this partner sponsors pledge funding blank because we have not asked our partners yet what their commitments would be, but going on the assumption that we'll just ask for the same amounts that we did in 2023, we should have enough to cover the funding for 2024. And then in terms of the operating costs, the only changes that were really made, we're just increasing the numbers since we're going to be in person more days than the 3 days. So just based on the estimates of what we spent in 2023 for in-person programming, this is what the estimated cost would be for in-person programming for 6 days. Are there any questions on our budget?
Sorry, this is Charlie.
Yeah, no, Charlie.
I don't know if this fits in here or not, but what's going on with the storage unit? Because that's an ongoing expense, and I don't know how much we're using. I haven't been in it, in 10 years. So.
Yeah, so I've been whittling away at our storage unit, attempting to clean it out. And also thanks to all of our logistics staff at YLF 2023, we were able to consolidate more of our storage. So there is potential for us to start renting a smaller unit, which would hopefully, decrease the cost for that line item. But I know when talking with Denise, our rental is on a year contract. So I believe we just passed the opportunity for that. So if we're going to make any changes, it'll have to be within the next year to downsize. And I think we can downsize. There's only a little bit more of purging to go through old items and old records, and then moving some things from the storage unit at YLF storage unit to the DOR central office where CCPD staff is. There's a lot of files and stuff that we can just move there permanently instead of keeping it in our storage unit. and having to chuck it, like bring it back and forth from the storage to YLF if we don't actually use those items at YLF. So
What exactly do we have left? I mean, I remember the things that took up the bulk of the space were, shower chairs. I know there were boxes, the t-shirts and things like that, but
so mostly just the durable medical equipment stuff, that like the shower chairs. We have like 5 or 6 shower chairs and a couple of other like DME items that are still stored there. Alice and the rest of the PCA team did a really good job of consolidating the medical supplies and everything. So I think they limited it from, it was once like 15 or 16 boxes, which I think is now only like 7. So, and those have to be refreshed every year because things expire. And so,
Right.
and
Well,
we
that's what I'm
hadn't used
wondering.
it since 2019. So
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff was expired. So yeah, just continuing consolidation between now and YLF 2024. We should be able to get into a smaller unit by next October.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions about our budget?
Yes, Matt, this is Ashley.
Yeah.
In regards to the last item, marketing and outreach, it looks like we do have 10,000. But I think on the previous budget, we were nowhere near that. I'm wondering what all are we anticipating different from last year?
Yeah, that brings up a good point. So YLF is trying to strategize better ways to market and outreach our program. So if there are youth conferences or youth events around California, we'll be sending people from YLF. I actually am at a youth conference here in Orange County this weekend. So that would be part of that marketing and outreach budget. So that's why it's increased significantly, just to cover the cost of travel for those opportunities that come for us.
Got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions or comments about our budget?
Okay, you ready to move on to the week at a glance, Matt?
Actually, I think this is where we take an official vote on our proposed budget. Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
So that way we can then start to ask our donors for their contributions.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the 2024 budget?
This is Danielle. I'll go ahead and motion for approval.
And this is Charlie, I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? All right, Matt, you want to do the vote?
Anderson?
Yes.
Baines? Oh, Benita might have stepped away. Oh, there she is.
No, I'm right here. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Yes.
Approved. Burrell?
Approve.
Hess?
Approve.
Kaplan?
Approve.
Motion passes. Oh, and I see Blair joined us. Hi, Blair.
All right, let's move on. to Week at a glance. You're muted, Matt.
Danielle, you can go back to sharing now.
Yep.
Looks empty.
Yes.
Matt, did you want me to talk about it or did you want to?
Go ahead. I'll let you do this.
Okay, so Matt and I got together earlier this week and just kind of went through and did a real basic outline of the week at a glance based on comments we got last year. Lots more transition time, lots more opportunities for more informal networking, and hopefully just letting people be a little bit less stressed and run down during the week. We know that we're always trying to shove in so much, but I think with the amount of post-YLF activities and things like that, this isn't our only opportunity to get information into people. This is just the first step. So I went ahead and just hid the staff day because there's nothing on that yet. Everyone, we know staff will show up a day early. We have our normal arrival followed by an opening session, and then a small group. And that is really it for that day. And then they have dinner and then free time. We didn't really schedule much after dinner. We want people to rest. We need people to have that free time. That'll give them time for the talent show prep. That way we can do the staff meeting after dinner and people can get to bed early if they want to. So our second day, we have our disability community culture and history. We gave people the full hour and a half that the dining hall is open for breakfast. Some transition time. We don't start activities until 9 o'clock, which I think will help. They'll have a small group first, followed by the first part of probably Rosie's presentation. She hopefully will be available. I'm sure we'll be asking her soon. But so the first hour of that, then lunch, second hour of that, and then more small group. And then we'll have the barbecue dinner that day, assuming everything's available over at Sac State. Any questions so far on that?
Nope, doing great.
Okay. Discovering resources to reach our goals. So this is going to be kind of a panel discussion. We just called it right now Moving Past High School. It's going to be kind of like the disability career panel, but career and education panel, but more focused on people who are closer to high school. So just a couple years out. So either in college or just starting their careers. So we'll be working on that. Lunch on campus and the tours. Come back to the resource fair, followed by a small group, and then dinner. And I guess the one thing I did forget to point out the night before is we will do a Crip Camp movie night that night, but it'll be pretty informal, I think. Okay, any questions? Okay. So this is the day we kind of added. I just called it Living Independently right now. We will do our breakfast, a small group, and then we have kind of our Living on My Own self-advocacy panel like we usually do. This is a mentoring luncheon that we've kind of been discussing, changing the format of that for a little bit. Matt, did you want to talk any about that?
Yeah, I know at last month's meeting, we briefly discussed going back to the way it was traditionally hosted somewhere on campus. That would be an opportunity for our partners and sponsors and other mentors in the community to come and join us for lunch. We'll definitely have it catered. We'll look for space on campus to host that lunch, whether it be, in our large group room or another area on campus that's available for our group size. But it'll be a good opportunity for us to really hone in on the mentoring aspect of that luncheon instead of, having the students run around downtown Capitol trying to get through the Capitol Day and try to get to a luncheon at the same time. And the added expense of being at a hotel is pretty significant to our budget. So this will be less cost prohibitive to have a smaller networking luncheon.
And the goal is to have a separate event that is our big luncheon, right, Matt, at some point?
Yeah, so there's also talks about having a potential, like a more traditional style not mentors luncheon, but a funders luncheon in the fall that could potentially be planned as part of our marketing and outreach to try and draw more support for the program. But that's something, again, based on budget, we can discuss that option and what people think of that idea of hosting something in the fall and maybe bringing back a few of our standout delegates to attend that luncheon as speakers to talk about their experience at YLF. So something on the planning horizon for us to discuss.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure people knew that we weren't just getting rid of the funding luncheon. This is just an additional opportunity. So then we have our small group dinner, and then this is the night we have the talent show. So the staff meeting will be a little bit later. But I think that'll be okay. Any questions about that day? Okay. Then we have our Engaging in Our Communities Day. This is our Capital Day. This is just vaguely written out for now. So breakfast, we'll ask everyone to get done with that a little bit early, and then we'll load our buses, travel to the Capitol. We left a lot of time for that because we know that's always a thing. And then we have two kind of chunks of capital activities separated by lunch at downtown. And that'll take whatever format it does. We will probably have Capitol tours somewhere in there. We are planning on having some sort of legislative visits in there. We've got some partners lined up. I know DRC, and I think CF is also on board, and the Silk has a legislative specialist now, so hopefully we will have someone who can help out with those, because we know the legislative visits are always a lot to organize. Could do some kind of talk from someone who's involved in advocacy work. Like I said, it's vague right now, but we will be working on that. We have most of a year. So, but the plan is to be downtown for most of that day. Then go back to CSUS, give them a nice break before dinner, and then they will have their dance in the evening. Any questions about that day? I know it's super vague, but so if anyone has ideas or
This
Hey.
is Charlie.
Oh.
Yeah, you have capital activities before and after lunch. Are you planning on doing the lunch at the Capitol, or I know we've done brown bags
Lunches-
or box lunches. Yeah,
that's still up in the air too. We might be able to maybe get a speaker and have lunches somewhere. We haven't planned that yet. We just know that we will be eating somewhere downtown.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have capital activities during that chunk of time. And Danny?
I just the legislative visits take a lot of prep time in the small groups, right? Otherwise they're not fruitful. So I remember one year we had I remember Patrick Henning spoke. I can't remember who else spoke in that kind of impressive room near the governor's office. Charlie, remember it was that long
the governor's council room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if
correct.
maybe what?
So that was correct.
Yeah, thank you, Benita. I'm wondering if rather than going the legislative visit route, we could work on like a really impressive and like special presentation in there instead, just because I worry about time. We always run out of time. Nothing ever goes on time. And getting all these delegates to try to run and find the offices and speak, and they get nervous and it's a lot. So I'm wondering if maybe that is a route that we could go instead. So that way we can make sure that they get the tour, because they always enjoy the tour, but it's always the first thing to be cut when we have time problems. So I would rather encourage us to look at like a really impressive presentation in that room and the tour over ledge visits, but that's just my suggestion.
Well, I have noted. And also, we don't know where the ledge will be at that point because they're not in the Capitol now. They're in
Right.
the annex. And
Oh,
so,
I don't even know if that room's there either now that you
oh,
bring it
yeah.
up.
So we'll work on that. But that's good to know that it's hard to know what's more valuable to people, but it's good to know that a speaker would be just as, if not more valuable than those visits. Benita? You are on mute if you would like to speak.
I got it. So I was thinking that's a great idea. And I know that there was data that was captured as well. And maybe if there are some areas of interest, areas of concern, maybe that speaker can kind of craft their speech around those, whatever we like identify to or something, and then incorporate some time for Q&A.
Great. Definitely.
Just an idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to note, we got in the chat from Blair, is there a way to participate in the material development for the individual groups? Yes, there will be. That's going to be more a late winter, early spring activity when we'll be working on the workbook and things like that. And I will make sure that you are on that little sub work group that we contact you when that starts. Let me see. Does that sound good, Blair? Trying to change this so I can actually see everyone.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, Maria, I see your hand raised.
Yeah, so in terms of the capital, I think Matt and I have been talking, and we will be talking with CF and DRC. We want to get creative with that, and duly noted, Danny, like legislative visits are not really, also a lot of members are not there because it's summer, it's the summer break. So we want to get creative, trying to get the students on the floors, talk to them a little bit more about legislation, what's the point of it, why you should be involved, and that sort of thing, kind of get it from that perspective, and have some, targeted activities in the Capitol, including the tours. So that's kind of what my thinking has been in terms of trying to talk to our partners there to kind of see what else can we do for that day and be a little bit more creative.
Yeah, and this is the day when we would typically do the, community and legislative advocacy panel. So maybe bring in some of those elements too, so they can talk to people who are really involved in the process.
Yeah, and then the other thing is, who is, our champions right now? Who are those senators and assembly members that have been working on disability type issues? So they can, hear from the students, or just they can have a moment to engage with them too. It could be something like that. We have virtual now too, so.
Yep. Hey, cool. Thank you. I appreciate everyone's feedback, because this is definitely the time for it. Let us know what you think works. And if you think of something randomly while you are on your commute or doing something mindless, feel free, shoot me and Matt an email, and we will make sure it goes on our kind of checklist of things that we are keeping track of for this. Okay. Yeah, and then they end the day with the dance, and then we will have our late staff meeting, but we will keep that one short. Then our last day, we'll let them have their long breakfast again. They will have their final small group. We have a really long 2.5-hour chunk of lunch and closing session. So the goal there would be we'd bring lunch into the large group room and do our graduation, our last talks, our closing session, everything. Give them time to check out, gather their stuff, and then load buses and get everyone out on the road. So, do we feel like this is, I know we didn't put in like the times or anything, but each of these is 15 minutes, each of these little chunks. So we've got 30-minute transition times. Should give people a little bit more time to go ahead and take care of whatever they need in between activities. Evenings are more free. I'm hoping that this will make everyone a lot more comfortable, a lot more relaxed. We won't have as much time to go over things, and that's fine. We'll just have to figure out we'll have to do some culling of the workbook, figure out what's most important to people and what can be covered in post-YLF activities. So I think, Matt, is this a voting item that we're gonna move forward with this as our draft for now, or are we gonna?
It is, yeah. a voting item.
Cool.
To continue to work towards this goal.
Okay, cool. Then I'm gonna go ahead and motion this as our first draft of our week at a glance.
Can I get a second?
Cool. Thank you.
Oh, I can second it, right? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Thought you did.
And for discussion, I just want to say I appreciate this. The break times were something that I was pretty vocal about last year, and I think this makes it really a lot more accessible for those of us who take longer to do break activities, and to just be able to get from one place to another. And I'm actually not worried about being able to cover less, because I think that in looking and reviewing the workbook, there was some repetition that we can get rid of from last year. So I really do think that it's going to be okay. I think overall it's the benefit is necessary. So I appreciate you doing it this way. All right, Matt, you want to do the roll call? And yes, I approve.
Anderson. Baines. Benita, are you with us still? Benita.
Repeat, please.
Oh, just to approve this week at a glance. The
Okay,
draft week
I
at a
approve.
glance.
Yeah.
Okay.
And things, Daniel, for the walkthrough, it's really good. It's really good. Good work, you guys.
Burrell.
Approve.
Hess.
Approve.
Kaplan.
Approve.
Motion passes.
Beautiful. All right. Who will be covering the speakers and presenters?
So I don't think we're there yet in our week at a glance. So we might need to hold off on that topic for next month. I think the only thing we've identified is that Rosie's presentation for that second day. We'll ask Rosie about that. And then I think other than that, and then the legislative visits, just talking to our champions and figuring out who those folks are going to be. And then the other panel, we can come up with some ideas for recent alumni who may still be in college or just starting their careers to do that moving out of high school panel. I think those are our big 3 panels that we have to find speakers for. So we can start brainstorming that now between now and next month, and then next month bring some names forward, and then start making asks of people. So it's a little early though, but we could get things on calendars.
All right, then we will hold that for one of the next meetings. Okay, Matt, a update on the regional YLFs?
Yes, so Sacramento is going to be hosting its first regional YLF next weekend, the 20th through the 22nd. It'll be a 3-day program at Sacramento City College. It will be for, I believe our final count is 22 students. So we're really excited about that as a first kind of pilot of the regional event. Thanks in large part to our partner, SETA, the Sacramento Employment Training Agency. They've been a huge champion, as well as DOR, RIL, and then who else is on that committee, Maria? Am I missing somebody? Oh, and
Los Rios
Los
and
Rios
Regional Center.
our regional center. Thank you. So that event will be next weekend. And then Los Angeles is exploring their regional event for February. It was pushed back. It was initially supposed to be this October, but just due to scheduling and just having some issues getting things moving there. They're looking now at the first week of February for LA, and San Diego is looking for the last week in June. So it'll be very close to YLF 2024. But that, again, both of those are 3-day programs, and they're both during the week, I believe. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. And then in 2024, after we have hopefully all 3 pilot events occur, we'll work on some lessons learned and then start to branch out and look for other regions that want to host a regional YLF event and see if we can get some things moving with local partnerships.
Fantastic. Any questions for Matt? All right. Agenda items for future meetings. What do we want to talk about next time? I would request if any of you can bring maybe a speaker or 2 to suggest to the table. I think that would be really helpful so that we can get a really robust list of possibilities. Okay.
Yeah, I would like to hear more from people on their ideas for the Ledge Day, the day downtown. If there's anything else downtown that you think people should be seeing, if there's any way you think it would be good to organize it, just I want people's ideas, especially for that day.
And things in downtown that we don't want them to see.
Well, yeah, fair.
Maybe we could take them all to Cafe Connection, Charlie.
You know, I just drove by there. They're still going. I haven't
Yeah?
been there in 10 years.
Okay, any public comments from our friends from the public?
This is Johnny from your friend from the public, and I just want to say you guys are doing amazing work. Congratulations, Chair Anderson, on your new role, and I'm excited to be more involved with the governance and both activities. So Matt, thank you for all the hard work you put into this. It's great.
Thank you, Johnny, my co-chair. Now I can boss you around even more. This is great.
I know, I was thinking about that as I said it. I'm like, I don't know if we should give her this much power.
All right, unless there's any other public comments, do I need to get a motion to adjourn, or can we just peace out?
Well, this isn't a public comment, but I just wanted to thank Danielle for all her years of chairing, and Danielle and Matt. Matt, before you became project director, and you and Danielle have really kept this thing going for the last few years. So I just really appreciate the hard work of you guys and the staff of the California committee. And it's hard. I've been involved for a long time, and it's hard to, there's transitions, and just wanting to keep it going, and just glad to see that we've got some real dedication here, and the people who really started this would be proud to see it continuing, and just want to kudos to everybody.
Thank you. I'm glad we were able to drag it kicking and screaming through COVID. And I am glad that it's getting a real big burst of energy and interest and new people and everything to move us into the next 30 years. So awesome.
Well, I'm already feeling old, Danielle. You gotta say 30 years.
30 years.
Oh, you're doing good.
All right, everyone. Well, we will see you next month. Thank you.